Hello everyone, this is Zoltar and welcome back to our expansive campaign of Offworld Trading Company. Now, this is going to be the second mission. As you can see from last time, we have earned 10 points. We have gained our income, our 27 income, so we're now at 47. And we gained our electronics shipment, so we'll get 20 electronics at the start or whenever we upgrade our headquarters. I believe that also triggers when we land. I'm not 100% certain on that. We'll find out. But hopefully, this will allow us to even kick through our headquarter upgrading even faster than we already were as expansive and allow us to capitalize on our advantages more easily. Now, let's go ahead and start looking at what missions are available, and then we'll decide how to spend our money exactly. So here we've got 18 income, unlock robotic, which I'm not that interested in. We don't really want this perk, so I think we're just going to discount this mission right away. Here we get an extra claim. That could be very nice. Just build on our already huge number of claims. Here we get a free metal mine. That also could be very, very nice. This will be an interesting mission if we take it because it's a rare resource level mission. And there's no engineering lab, which is very nice for us because we're not going to have one anyway. And maybe somebody else normally would. Here, this is also very interesting. There's a mutiny here. If we would like a mutiny, that is very tempting as well. But in this scenario, there are no auctions. So this is kind of a hard choice. I'm really liking those two missions in particular, either the free metal mine or the mutiny mission. I'm kind of leaning toward free metal mine, but mutiny can be really good for just messing someone up right away. I think we'll actually go with this. It's just fun. Look, it's more fun to take other people's stuff than to make your own, let's be honest. So, that in mind, we got to look at how to spend our money. I'm leaning toward the glass furnace upgrade. This will allow us to make glass more easily. It'll improve the output of our glass, which is very tempting to me. The other option is to get an elemental quarry and a metal mine upgrade. And this would improve the production of our mines and our quarries, obviously, which would allow us to collect silicon more quickly, which is very nice for making glass. It would allow us to collect aluminum more quickly, and it would allow us to collect iron more quickly. All of these things mean less plots devoted toward collecting those resources and more plots devoted toward utilizing them. So it's a bit of both options are entirely valid in my opinion, but I think I'll actually lean toward the metal mine and the quarry. I kind of want the glass, but we're going to be using... I don't think we'll get to use the glass as much in the next mission as the metal mine and the quarry, so I'm going to lean this direction because I expect it to stay once again in the very early stages of the game primarily. So that's everything selected. We're looking to get this mutiny and this income, and let's get to it. Now once again, keep in mind, we're looking for aluminum and iron primarily right now. Found a good spot for aluminum already, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot near it. So we'll keep checking around a little bit, but it's important to remember that this is a rare resource mission. So, ooh. Here we go. We'll do something a bit silly. We're going to take this spot here, I suppose. This isn't perfect, but it's a bit silly. What we're going to do is, I believe this will work just fine. We throw down a mine here, and we throw down a mine here. And even though these are collecting different resources, I believe they will both get their adjacency bonus due to having a metal mine nearby. And so we'll be collecting those resources quite quickly. We'll just go ahead and throw down another metal mine. We'll just get all the aluminum in this game and steel mill. Now we're ignoring these back aluminum primarily because we get the adjacency bonuses here very easily. And I'm just kind of experimenting and seeing how that goes. So we've got our basic production up and running for aluminum and steel. Let's go ahead and upgrade. We're not going to get any more steel anytime soon. This will allow us to throw down additional steel production. We really want to get that ramping up very quickly. And we will take this very nice water tile as soon as we can. sell off the electronics that we got from upgrading. So we did get electronics from upgrading, not from landing, from what I can tell. That gives us access to this water, which we're just going to take. And let's take a look at what our friend is doing. Our friend is, let's see, that's robotic, yes. So he's not going to need water, food, oxygen, or fuel. Or water, food, and oxygen, I believe. Those, the life support resources. He still needs fuel. And so that makes water less of a priority in a lot of ways, because we could just snap it all up, but he would just ignore the market completely. It makes food and oxygen a little bit less of a priority as well. So we'll instead try and focus on things he needs. Now, he actually needs electronics. He may try and move into that, but he's also going to need those basic resources to upgrade his base. Aluminum, steel, and glass.
The black market is online.
So we'll focus primarily on those. Let's sell off our iron for the time being. Try and get to that black market. Steal up a claim. Just to make life harder on him. Give him less claims. Oh, he went and took this aluminum right from under us. That is rude. That is rude. But I shouldn't be surprised at all by it. So that'll give him aluminum. It'd be nice if we could mutiny that and drive up this aluminum price for all the aluminum we're raking in from these metal mines all being right next to each other. So maybe that's what we'll get to next. For now, let's look at getting some power down. Can't neglect power for too long. Are there any great spots for solar power? I don't... Ah, here we go. This will do quite nicely.
Robotic colony expanded.
Okay, he's expanded. That's going to drive up the price on all this nonsense. So we can sell off some right now. Chemical shortage, nothing to do about that. One thing to keep in mind is every time we expand, it's going to cost us more oxygen, more food, and more water.
The black market is online.
There we go. Give me that aluminum back. It's not yours. I think we may move in to
Worker morale is at an all-time high.
An electrolysis reactor next. Ah, here's an aluminum shortage. That's very nice for us, especially considering we just mutinied hit this aluminum mine. But the reason for the electrolysis reactor is he's robotic. He doesn't really need water. He's less likely to get into this market, but he's still going to need the fuel from it. And plus, we are going to be using a lot of fuel because we've taken a lot of tiles and we're collecting resources from a lot of locations. Looks like that shortage has fallen off. There's a glass shortage. Wow, okay. Go ahead and throw down a glass factory right now. I should have put it here. That's okay. Because right now we're shipping all this stuff and using up fuel when we don't need to be. So, aluminum still going up for the time being. Still at 67. We're just collecting a whole lot of it. And we will probably sell it before too long. Let's go ahead and sell off just enough right now to get something from the black market we want. I'm actually okay with him producing silicon. We'll instead watch out for his glass factory and focus on shutting that down when it appears. Let's grab a power surge. Oh, another aluminum shortage. Wow, okay. I'm glad we held on to everything as long as we did. This could actually make the game very, very quick. For now, we'll want to upgrade before too long. Alright, the shortage is over. We're going to go ahead and just crash everything about that market real quick.
Robotic colony expanded.
With this
Upgrade.
new expansion, we have increased our potential production.
Sell off the
rate
steel
by
in
a lot.
response to those two upgrades. We could actually upgrade again if we want to. We just have that much aluminum. But I think what we'll do instead first is throw down this glass and make sure we are purchasing the silicon, because silicon is very cheap thanks to our robotic friend gathering up all kinds of silicon and not using it for anything except this electronics factory. He's going to start putting more and more of those down, and that's okay. Because we are focused on glass, which is far more valuable. So we'll just be purchasing the silicon that he's kind of trickling into the market and turning it into massive amounts of money with our glass factories. Why don't we grab an EMP? And he's not producing any glass, which is very nice for us. Water shortage coming up. That's not a big deal. We do need to get some food production down because we are eating. Just dump it right there. This will connect all our buildings to our headquarters and keep us from using up quite so much fuel. Which means fuel prices would probably drop dramatically, or at least there'd be a lot more fuel available for us. Get a little more water down because we're going to be consuming all kinds of water as well. And we can just upgrade. We can go ahead and get to headquarters level 5. It doesn't cost us literally anything.
With each new citizen, our domination
And it'll
grows.
make all of our stuff more valuable for increasing demand. Get down a little more power. As you can see, we're running very low on power right now because it's nighttime and there's nothing we can do about that. But we were starting to get very close to 0 power even in the day. He's collecting carbon as well. That's okay. Why don't we, in response to his... No, we can't put down the chemicals because we can't do that because it's a campaign. So instead, what we're going to do is get rid of his electronics production for the moment and just buy another power surge. Food's very valuable because we let it run up so long, but water is even more valuable. So let's kill our food production for the time being. That'll decrease our water needs. And let's kill off the electrolysis reactor as well for the moment, because water is very, very, very high, and we have a very large amount of it coming in. As you can see, water is just going to keep going up. Now, we can't do too much to manipulate these prices because that's just the state of the game that we're in with the campaign. So instead, we're probably just going to rely on writing them to the finish. We should actually check and see what we can do. Yeah, as you can see, glass is just so ridiculous. We've made so much money off of it, and we can just sell off the last of the water, and we have plenty to buy out our opponent's stock. Once again, very short, very early. I think we're actually going to make this video 2 campaign missions, which I was kind of hoping to avoid, but these early missions are quite short. Now, we could get a geothermal plant engineer, which could be very nice because geothermal is a very nice source of energy. On the other hand, it's a lot of investment for something that we already have covered, maybe just in a less desirable way, rather than enhancing what we're doing. Basically, if we get geothermal plants and we start relying on those, first of all, there may not be any geothermal on the map, and this could just be a complete waste of money, because geothermal, you have to find a geothermal tile, which I'm not even sure there were geothermal tiles on our last mission. And we know that we'll always have access to these solar panels, even though maybe they're not the optimal power source. So instead of looking at the geothermal for purchasing, we're probably going to be looking at these farms and this glass engineer. For the time being, let's check out what missions we have available. We can get perk Energy Vault, which is not particularly helpful most of the time, but could be okay since it's just a perk. We'll have to see what everything else, what all other perks are available. Oh look, Energy Vault. Free electrolysis reactor. That could be very nice, but this is a dust storm map, which would be bad for us because if I remember correctly, dust storms increase power generation of wind turbines and decrease power generation of solar panels. There's just, there's a lot of wind, there's a lot of dust in the air. And so we don't really want... This mission has some very good perks, but it'll be very difficult. So maybe we avoid it for now. Rare resources as well. And instead, go after this Energy Vault mission, which will give us 21 income, which isn't bad. Better than the other Energy Vault. There are low resources, so hopefully we can take advantage of that somehow. And it'll be normal rules, so we'll see auctions come up again. And things of that nature. Now, in terms of our money, we actually don't have to spend any of it if we don't want to. We could save it. We don't lose those 72 funds if we don't spend them. So I think what we'll do is save it, because we might want access to some of these more advanced buildings very quickly. Especially something like in Offworld Market, just guaranteeing access to that could be very important. So we'll go ahead and save the money and jump right into this Energy Vault mission. Same idea. This time, remember, we have low resources. Now, this is actually super amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop right here, steal all that aluminum,
Preliminary scans agree this
and
is
just
a great
take this
primary
stuff.
location for our new investment. You can count on us.
Low levels of water found.
Now, what that's going to do
Low levels of carbon found.
is give me a bunch of aluminum and iron, exactly what we're looking for. We do have 2 opponents this time. And we very much like having 2 opponents.
Medium levels of carbon found. Medium levels of silicon found.
Basically, what having 2 opponents is going to do,
New
let's do
expansion
that.
may have
Let's get our
increased
steel
our
rolling
potential
out.
Production rates by a lot. The
That
shareholders
was the
will
wrong button.
love it.
There we go. Yes, yes, we need money and or iron. That's okay, we'll have it in just a second. More iron? There we go, more iron. And set to auto supply the steel mills. Now, having more opponents is actually very nice for us. Went ahead and pause for a second, there we go. Because they'll need more and more and more of those metals that we are focusing on collecting so hard because we need so many of them anyway in order to benefit from our race's specialty. Wow, we have a lot of power going down up here on this hill. Maybe we'll just plant a little bit further away from them up here, but that's a lot of solar power right here. Let's focus on getting that power down. Sell off some of the steel and the aluminum in particular. What is this? What is this? Unlocks electrolysis reactor and improves the production of the electrolysis reactor. Do we want that? Probably. We already have access to it. So it would just improve production. So maybe we'll let this go for the time being. Let them fight over it. They seem keen to. They can have that massive chunk of debt if they want. There you go. Sold. There's your massive chunk of debt. Enjoy. We have steel mills up and running just fine. They're pumping out steel at a very nice pace. We could get even more down and try and corner the steel market, but that could be very difficult. Ooh, this science is already producing a lot of glass. We'll need to be on the lookout for pirates as an effective way to counter this play. They might come up as an auction. They probably won't, but you know, whatever. We can always dream. And what we'll do is just...
The black market is online.
Okay, black market's online. We should take a look at what we can do with that. We'll sell off a little steel, grab a claim. That'll work just fine. Now, we've got a steel mill producing here, but we don't want to mutiny that because it's scientific, and one of their bonuses is they take less, they basically take reduced damage from black market effects, in that they only have half duration. Well, maybe what we'll do, there's a steel mill going up here. We'll mutiny this. That'll cut down the adjacency bonus for this and give us all the steel coming out of this one. And steel is doing quite nicely right now compared to most resources that we have access to. And we can actually just upgrade right away.
Morale is at an all-time high, thanks to the infrastructure.
And I believe
booster
we'll
approved.
start collecting
We'll be able to ship more
some
industries
silicon.
off Earth in no time.
Is there any other better place for silicon on the map? I don't think so. There's not very much. We're going to have a bit of a harder time. Ooh, man. Surplus on steel is just going to tank everything, so we'll just sell it off right now.
The market is online.
Take another claim. We have plenty of claims now. So, what are people not producing? People have a little food and a little... I have not checked water yet. Here we go. Plenty of water over here. Don't need to worry too much. We've got a little food, a little oxygen and fuel. Iron's tanking now too. That's awful for us. And then it's very hard to find what a scientist is actually doing because he's all over the map at any given point. But he doesn't have that many claims right now, so he's not going to be doing much more than what we've seen with the glass and the steel production. I think he probably has a mine off somewhere. It's an aluminum mine right here. What do we got? More electrolysis reactor stuff. I'll just let them fight over it. I don't care. Yeah, good. Build up your debt, jerks. No, keep going. Keep going higher. I didn't... See, I really didn't want that, and so I could have dove in and started causing problems, but I didn't really see the point. Do we want to secure plenty of water? We have a lot of water coming in. Maybe we'll grab one more, because we want to, I think, throw down quite a lot of production that requires water. Black market again. Let's grab another claim. Just keep those rolling in. Go ahead and use these claims that we've acquired. This is a very difficult decision on where to put down. Now, with any luck, the expansionist will need to gobble up some of these water-based resources. He's only got a little bit, and we can start knocking them out because they're right next to each other. He's not even making food at the moment because water is so valuable. We can fix that. These all need water, that's okay. Just make sure that they are well supplied. And surplus in foods, let's actually just turn that off for the time being. And let our water fuel our oxygen and fuel. We can go ahead and expand again. Why not? Whoa! We lost a bunch of our metal production for metals that aren't worth very much anyway. No. Alright, black market again. Let's go ahead, let's grab our power surge. And that was the wrong thing to target. Should have targeted here, but that's okay. We've disabled his fuel and oxygen production. So with any luck, we're the only ones producing those things. And we'll be able to sell them for whatever price we want. But for now, we should actually just... Okay, food production is off. We're buying up food, which is good because water is super valuable. Let's grab a little more water because we got mutinied, which is quite frustrating. Stealing our water. And let's get some glass production started because the scientists didn't commit hard to glass production, so it's still quite valuable. Ooh, slant drilling. That's very good for the scientist. We'll just try and make sure he doesn't get it. Oh, that's super cheap. I'm not letting it go for that.
7,000. 8,000.
There we go. We got it. Good. Good stuff. And what slant drilling does is basically it allows you to mine adjacent tiles, like it said. So if you've got, let's say I took all of these aluminum tiles with metal mines, each of them would be mining as though it was a 2, because it's mining off this 2 tile rather than their own 1 tiles, is my understanding of it. Do we grab, maybe we grab a goon squad. People are starting to throw stuff at us. It hasn't been kind. I'm going to put it here. It's kind of central, and our electrolysis reactors are pretty important. Don't want to upgrade again. We want to find a way to spend money, preferably. We can actually just... Who's more valuable? Which of these would I rather have control of? I think I'd rather control the Expansive Corporation. So we'll start buying him up just a little bit. And we can upgrade for free now. Let's do that. And we need to figure out what to do with the very last of our stuff. Glass is still very valuable. That's very nice. Sell off those electronics we've been collecting. Sell off this fuel. And we'll just keep pumping out glass for the time being until it kind of crashes, and then we'll see what we can move into. Unfortunately, there's just not much to do. We can't move into things very easily because we can't make electronics. We can't make chemicals, and we can't go off-world yet. So that's kind of the trick with these early campaign missions. We did get a black market. Let's grab this power surge. Try and keep that glass price high, because we're relying on it pretty hard to see us through the mission. Chemical shortage, we can completely ignore that. Now, we do have quite a bit of debt, 31,000, but I'm not concerned about it at all because our stock price is ridiculous compared to theirs. And so we can float this debt all right, and it won't hurt us badly. Just keep selling off our fuel, selling off our glass. That's kind of the goal for the rest of this mission. We need 3 more of their stocks. They're going to cost probably about 32,000 to purchase, so we just need to watch for when we can... Oh, that's a problem. Start auto supply, yes. And now we'll go ahead and throw down a little more silicon production for when the silicon price jacks up from us purchasing so much silicon.
Freelance pirates are auctioning their services to the highest bidder.
1,000, 7,000, 8.
I don't want to go any higher than this at all, but I'm comfortable doing this because it will allow us to
Pirates.
snap up some of
I
this
hate
scientist's
those filthy
glass that he's got
Black
positioned out
market
here.
is online.
And hopefully he'll have a hard time recovering from that. Oh, that's kind of an issue that I didn't notice that for a long time. So our solar panel got knocked out, which is problematic at best. We're going to need to sell off some stuff in order to repair it. And we definitely want to repair it because it's contributing quite significantly to our massive debt. There we go. We can fix it now. The debt is looking like a bit of an issue at this point. Hopefully we can just kind of carry through the mission the way we have been and be okay. Get this food production up, because food's quite valuable compared to water now. Turn this back on.
Scientific colony expanded.
Yes, turn on all of these. Turn these all on. They're all auto-supplied. That's good. We have a glass shortage going on, so hopefully we'll be able to use this glass shortage to push through, finish purchasing this guy up, and then all we've got left is the scientist. Our debt is getting a little bit insane right now. Just going to throw that out there. This is getting repaired. Yeah, okay. Good, good, good. That's plenty.
Worker morale is
And I
at an
accidentally
all-time
upgraded,
high.
but we
Thanks
probably
to
had the
the
stuff anyway, so it's not that
infrastructure
big a deal.
boost you
Just
approved.
cost us our glass.
We'll be able to ship more industries off Earth in no time.
So hopefully we can use that to go ahead and just clean up before too long. We've got food that's going to sell quite well. We've got water that's selling okay. Something terrible just happened. Built the first engineering lab. Well, whatever. Good luck with that. That's all I have to say. And we'll probably just sell off food. Oh no, the surplus. But food and glass to the end of the game at this point. Took a little more work this time, as I'm sure you noticed. Went a little bit later in the game, but still very, very similar. But it is a little bit more of a challenge having 2 opponents, because you kind of have to decide, am I leaving myself too open for one to stab me in the back when I start attacking another's stock? And it's a bit complicated, but frankly, the computers on manager difficulty are quite manageable.
Freelance pirates are
Get all these
auctioning
turned
their
off.
services to the highest bidder.
5,000.
I don't really care that much, honestly.
7.
I mean, maybe we can build up his debt a bit and make it easier to buy out this last bit of stock. I think that's okay. We have at this point shut off all our glass factories because even though our glass is producing at a pretty good rate due to all the adjacency bonuses, it's still more than 1 silicon per unit of glass, and silicon is a lot more valuable than glass right now. Just kind of thing you have to watch out for. For example, we can actually turn off all our food right now if we want to, because water is significantly more valuable than food, because we only convert at a 1 to 0.7 rate in terms of water to food. So we don't really need to worry about food. Yeah, we have to buy food now, but that's okay because we can sell off the water to afford it for the time being and then turn stuff back on. Glass shortage, that's going to drive up the glass price, turn everything back on. We'll wait for this to go up just a little more, hit it, and finish up the mission. And there was a dust storm, so that was good timing because I was going to wreck our power production. Now, that'll do it for this episode, but before we go, we can go ahead and take a look at this stats screen, which is actually very nice in my opinion, in a lot of ways. We can see stock prices, which stock price is kind of a generally good measurement for how well a player is doing. It's just a measurement of how much stuff they have and how much it's worth. Debt can mess with it a bit, but overall it's a nice indicator of how well people were doing. So it's a nice opening screen. As you can see, I tanked my own stock in the process of acquiring this guy, but it was well worth it in the end because I just jumped up immediately afterward from all the stuff I had. Now this resource graph could be a bit more useful. You can really feel the early access here because it's like, well, what is this? I don't know. Maybe I remember. Maybe it was glass. Yeah, it was glass, which you can tell by removing it, and suddenly there's no spike up here. This is kind of frustrating, but still can be useful in the right circumstances. What's even better is this page, the resources page. We can see power was a bit of a major issue for me that game because I auto-purchased 60,000 power and I only sold 26,000. So I lost 30,000 on power that game. If I'd had 30,000 more, we could have cleaned that game up quite a bit faster. But the thing to consider with power in particular is most of that auto-purchasing, if not all of it, pretty much went straight into my debt, which I never had to touch that game because our development was so solid from all of the steel and aluminum we were collecting. So even though I lost 30,000 on power, if you want to look at it that way, it was almost entirely irrelevant for the actual results of the match because we developed so much better than our opponents did, and the match was going to end fast enough that we would never have to pay off our debt. Food and fuel, we also spent a lot buying. We didn't sell very much of, but that was okay because we were selling water quite a bit, which almost matched up to our food price. And we also sold quite a bit of fuel once we had that production up that almost negated the fuel purchasing. So it wasn't really that bad. And then glass was our major player that game with almost 120,000. Well, about 100,000 once you count in the purchased glass. And even less once you count in the silicon, but still much higher than anything else with all of these purchases included. So that has been episode 2 of this campaign. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.